All right, Clinton, well, we're here with the Tenere 700. We've got this ride coming up. Totally excited for that. You've been sort of teaching me a little bit about some of the off-road stuff. You know, we're going to do some road riding for sure. We're not going to do some single track or anything like that, but we want to get off the road to do some adventure riding like people will do with this motorcycle. So you've been teaching me a little bit of this and that. It's starting to rain now, and you brought out a wet log that you want me to ride over. Tell me how I'm going to do that confidently.
Piece of cake. This bike will walk right over it with a little bit of help, Graham. So some of the basics, again, if you jump back on in that standing position, now you want to be in that crouched, I'm ready, I'm a coiled spring. As we're approaching the log, if the log is less in height than the front axle of our bike, you can bump over it. It's just a great big hero logs where you've got to pop it up in the air and get the skid plate on. That's a bit more advanced.
Sure.
And it's a little sketchy with a wet log doing that. We want to hit it as perpendicular as possible, like a letter T. If you hit it on an oblique angle, the front tire may get over, but it's going to get exciting when the back wheel hits it. It may slide.
Yeah, I can see that.
So to help the horse over, we're just going to approach it at, 90 kilometers. No. About 5 kilometers an hour, covering the clutch, first gear. Your head is up and you don't stare down at the log. You look where you want to go. Just before you hit it, you can keep the gas steady, cover the clutch, and prepare for the front end coming up as the suspension contracts.
Okay.
Then you get the front end over, the back is going to come up. This is the main reason why we stand up. Because if you're sitting down, that's the eject button sometimes.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Now the key, because it's a wet log, is we don't want to have aggressive throttle going into the back wheel when it's near this log. We just want to bump over it. So it's a coasting. You have your speed, 5 kilometers an hour, built up before we get there. Don't have throttle input, because we don't need it. Momentum force will take you across.
So we're not trying to yank the thing up over this log or
not at
power
this height.
over it. We're just...
As the log gets bigger, we have to help the Tenere 700 suspension by compressing just before you hit it, and then a little shot of throttle with clutch to help elongate the suspension. Even at that, we're not trying to do a wheelie. We're just trying to stand the suspension up. But I want you to experience and appreciate the great suspension on this bike. It'll walk right over with nothing. No throttle, just coast over.
Okay, well, baby steps. We'll start here. We're not going to obviously, go really aggressively riding with this thing, but we're going to have a lot of fun, and we want to be able to go where we want to.
Exactly.
So we'll start with this and see how she goes.